Good evening. Welcome back. The band, the full band, is back together. What's the difference, you may say, is we have another national champion in the room, Stephen Willis.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to the Old Mississippi Rebels Baseball Club for winning the College World Series. Steve.
Sorry, Jeb.
Has it sunk in yet?
I've been processing this for about 3 straight days, and I still can't believe that this is the team that this happened to. And they went through so much, and everybody just assumed this was Tennessee's to win. Again, sorry, Jeb.
Yeah, that's all right.
But, I mean, for lack of a different word, this was easy for Ole Miss. I mean, they outscored people in the NCAA tournament 82-25.
Yeah.
I mean, there was one game that they lost. They had the bases loaded with no outs, and they just didn't get a pop-up to tie it up. I mean, it's just a weird thing that happened to work out. And, I mean, it was a lot of fun, and I'm glad it happened. And they had their parade and their celebration today. And we're getting ready to turn the page to football season, but this will always be where Ole Miss is kind of a national championship. They kind of set themselves up in a different stratosphere when it comes to baseball. And, I mean, Ole Miss is, just in a different level than they were 2 days ago. It's incredible.
Well, their pitching came around from what I noticed. And, I mean, in college baseball, that's the most clutch thing you can do, pitching. Right? That's, Tennessee fell apart because of, their pitching and their hitting and their emotions. A lot of teams you look at and say, well, their pitching failed them. Their relief pitching, more specifically. Bullpens fall apart. You have injuries. You have guys that, don't get in. In college baseball, errors come into play more so than Major League Baseball. So, I mean, Ole Miss just got real hot at the right time, and that's really all there is to it.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing. And their pitching staff, man, after the Tennessee series, Ole Miss's staff ERA was around 9. I mean, something ludicrous. And this was the most dominant pitching staff that I've seen at a College World Series in probably 5 or 6 years, probably since Florida a couple years ago. And it's a really impressive thing whenever if you score 5 runs, you're probably going to win. That's what they turned into. And it just, in this juiced ball era of college baseball, it's just kind of impressive to see. It really is. And but Mike Bianco,
defense wins championships.
Yeah. They should name the stadium after Mike Bianco. They should recreate the Omaha statue with Tim Elko, Kevin Graham, and Justin Bench and call it the day, because this is a seminal day for Ole Miss athletics and Ole Miss baseball.
Absolutely, man. It's Georgia was so close many moons ago in 2008, lost to Fresno State in the College World Series final. Almost got a taste of what that feels like, but a natty is a natty, man. And if your first one's got to be in baseball, let's do it. But things are looking pretty exciting for the Rebel football team, and we'll talk about that here down the road. But like I said, we got an action-packed show. We're back with you, SEC After Dark. As you can see, we got some new logos that after our Bet Online logo cycles out, you'll see that. We're chat's ready to rock and roll, and we're brought to you by betonline.ag. They continue to be the #1 source for all your sports and betting needs. Find all the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including this year's Wimbledon finals if you're into tennis, Major League Baseball, which I still haven't figured that out yet, the latest fighting news, and even next season's early NFL futures. I'll tell you whose stock is plummeting right now, and that is the Cleveland Browns, as it should. So head to the website or use your mobile device. Sign up today. Receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code Bleav to get that bonus and get into the action. BetOnline is where the game starts. So to reset, we are SEC After Dark.
Do we have the SEC champion football and baseball team here, and then the actual national championship football and baseball teams here? That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
And none of them wear orange.
No.
Tennessee won the conference tournament.
Yeah, we were the SEC
That's right.
champs in baseball.
That's right. That's right. Y'all the basketball champs.
But he's still not wearing orange.
Man, this academic year, I'm telling you, this is the show to be.
Yeah, SEC won baseball and basketball this year.
You got it. You got Bama and Tennessee as SEC champions.
Yep.
You got Georgia and Ole Miss as national champions.
Yeah. That's
already know.
Tennessee is
Tennessee.
SEC baseball champions, SEC tournament champions, and basketball tournament champions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We finished dead effing last.
This is the show of champions, is my point.
Still got to win against Alabama.
That is true. We are the show of champions. This is the championship. Yeah. This is championship programming at its finest. Speaking of championship programming, Steve is marching towards 2,000 followers, 2,000 subscribers on Locked On Ole Miss. If you guys would just kindly subscribe to y'all's conference network and Bleav In Georgia Dawgs YouTube page. I'm just a few shy of 1,000 on the Bleav In Georgia Dawgs page. And when I say a few short of 1,000, I mean I'm just at 24 right now. So if we could hustle and pick up some steam, that would be outstanding. As I said, Bleav In Georgia Dawgs podcast, the Beast of the East podcast, which I host with Vinny and Israel, and then the bread and butter right here, the SEC After Dark, and then Illegal Motion, which is something totally different. I go around the nation on that one. I host it with a couple Big Ten guys, so that's an interesting program right there. Jake, Tide Talk Live, Best of the West. Jeb, we got to get you on another show.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I might have to actually. I'll create my own. I think I've got a YouTube page, but there's nothing on it. But maybe I'll start my own podcast.
There you go. The best of Google search.
That's right. I do. Before we move on from the championship game or the series,
got 25 subscribers now.
There you go. I just want to say that Arkansas pitcher that first night when we was doing the show, we was watching, and I cannot think of his name, but we referenced him being the guy from Saved by the Bell. But,
Zach Morris.
Yeah. He come in with the bases loaded and no outs. I know, Steve, you don't want to hear this, but I mean, he gave it one run and won the game for him. But bases loaded, no outs. He pitched a hell of a game, to finish that out.
Oh, get out of that jam, dude! I was like, he's gonna strike. He didn't strike out the side, but he was damn close to it.
I mean, that was crazy. I mean, he did really good in that situation.
Yeah, that was.
But the pitching in those two national championship games was impressive too, though. It was a lot, especially in the last one. Everybody was just striking everybody out left and right.
Yeah,
just throwing freaking dots. Throwing no, what is it in baseball? Throwing. What is it? Throwing pills? Throwing
darts?
No. What's the saying? There's a saying like you're throwing like an unhittable ball.
Pills? We ain't talking about drugs, Corey. Come on now.
That's off the rails later.
Yeah.
No, they used to describe Randy Johnson's pitches looking like an aspirin coming in because it was so fast.
Well, he disintegrated a bird one time, so I mean,
that is true.
Yeah, I mean,
there was no
bad birdie.
Yeah, literally vaporized.
Mm-hmm.
So no, the pitching, like I alluded to, the pitching was elite, man, and that's that's in playoff baseball. That's the key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Major League.
Todd Walker's on the SEC network. Todd Walker's on the SEC network, and he is absolutely correct. Baseball is all pitching. Mm-hmm. Everything is pitching, and if you can get it right, you're going to be better than not.
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, pitcher has the most command of the game. If he's dealing, it's a wrap for you.
It's almost
Oklahoma's pitching was very good too.
Yeah. It's almost like a hot goaltender when it comes to hockey.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that has as much impact on a game as a pitcher. People
like Pecorine in that Stanley Cup final run. For the
friggin' and the Avalanche. I mean, in this Stanley Cup, they just
the Avalanche
blew out everybody.
The Avalanche could beat you just about any way you could be beaten. And we made the mistake of putting on that game because we got copyrighted. But the Avalanche, I'm surprised that series went 6.
Yeah, I mean they dominated. It seemed like that whole series. So The whole playoff, honestly. I mean, they caught lightning in a bottle and blew everybody out.
Was that a pun? That was very effective use of the pun.
Well, I didn't mean it to be, but okay.
Beat the lightning, yeah.
Yeah.
Lightning in a bottle. They put lightning in the bottle.
Yeah.
What they did to Edmonton should be illegal. They just freaking
yeah. Edmund had no business playing against him in that series.
You know, I'm becoming a Lightning fan down here because they're right down the road from me. Yeah, Tampa Bay. I mean, come on.
Steven Stamkos is one of my favorites. You know, he's really.
You mean
good.
it's not Tampa Bay?
Yeah. No. I'm a Saints fan. I'll always be a Saints fan.
Yeah.
But when it comes to hockey, yes, I can do that. You know, in basketball, I might become a Magic fan. I don't know. But in soccer, I was Atlanta United, full thing Atlanta United. But the pink jerseys that Inter Miami have, every time I watch them, I like them more and more and more.
Dude, Nashville SC, man. Like,
but I'm not there,
bro. You're not, but you were.
Yeah, I was, but I'm not now.
Of course.
But by the way, everybody that's watching this on the stream, please do us a favor and hit subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications for new videos. That will make sure that you'll be able to stream Beast of the East, Best of the West, and maybe even Illegal Motion. I don't know how. We might be able to pull something like that. Who knows? But this channel is going to be a hub of all of your news and all of your sports news, and we're going to have a bunch of shows on here and do that. And also upvote the video itself. It's already been upvoted, I think 5 times. Thank you very much for that. But we're going to do this differently, and over the next couple of weeks, it's going to look a little different. We're going to build back up. But this is going to be the platform, and this is what we're going to do during football season. We wanted to get done before media days.
And I think that's going to be the right route. But, Steve, you're a Saints fan. They're plus 375 to win the division. You have an elderly quarterback in Tampa Bay, and that's really your only competition in the division. If you want to make some good money, put some money on New Orleans to win the division, and you're there, man. Yeah. Plus 375. It's almost like stealing.
Yeah, you know, it's got to the point where, you know, most of the time whenever something makes you feel like you're a kid, that's a good thing. It's not when you're a Saints fan and you're my age. And right now for the season, I kind of feel like I did when I was a kid. I'm hopeful that we'll be good. I have no confidence that we will.
I think overall they got one of the best rosters in the NFC.
Yeah, but if Kamara gets suspended, which it sounds like he might.
Yeah.
And
that's why they picked up Jarvis.
Yeah, you have Jarvis and you have Michael Thomas coming back, and the kid from Ohio State, the draft pick and wide receiver, Olave. Yeah,
Dude can fly.
Yeah, it's potentially there because, you know, Jarvis Landry and Michael Thomas, they're going to be working quick slants and all stuff by the line of scrimmage. You needed somebody to take the top off of defense, and he's a guy that can do that. Now, I do not have much confidence in Jameis. He is definitely in Missouri land for me. Show me. Absolutely show me what's going on. But I have no confidence going into the season. But I will watch it. I will enjoy it. And Lord knows I'm ready for it to start.
At least you're not the Atlanta Falcons.
Well, yeah, obviously.
And the sad part is the Panthers are worse.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah, but the Panthers have Matt Corral. And
that's a good point.
Well, maybe in a couple for you that makes it enjoyable, but they still suck. They got nothing else.
They got a good block.
Robbie Anderson said, I'm making good money. I'm not a wide receiver one, but I think I'm gonna retire."
Wait, I'm sorry. Did Robbie Anderson retire?
I don't know. He was thinking about it.
I missed that. That's crazy.
He didn't retire. He was just thinking about it, though.
They've got one of the best running backs for the 2 or 3 games he plays.
That's another issue. But I think overall they're just awful.
Yeah.
But
if Christian McCaffrey can stay on the field, they're a little bit more dangerous, but he can't.
Yeah, he's the one player that sat out a bowl game that was justified because that dude's made out of glass.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, we hope you don't have a Freddie Freeman's agent type of day where you get fired.
Oh.
Man, the story that come out on that is insane right now.
I know, and that hurts because I hated losing him. I mean,
his agent screwed him.
Yeah.
Well, the Braves were like, "Oh, really? Okay, we'll go and get Matt Olson. See you, Freddie. Bye bye."
Yeah.
So yeah, we're
How about
Moore's coming out.
Dansby right now, boys? Dansby's like on fire right now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, the
Cover
Braves.
earmuffs, Steve. Earmuffs. We're
Yeah.
talking about the best team in baseball. Earmuffs. Actually, no, the best team in baseball right now is freaking the Yankees.
Yankees.
Holy cow!
Have they lost 20 games yet?
I don't think so.
I mean,
They may
I still don't
not.
think they're there.
Yeah.
They may not, dude.
I know
they're
they've won
freaking
over
nasty.
50, so
Yeah.
They were the
It's crazy.
fastest team with 50 in Major League history, I think, right?
Only to lose in the first round.
You know, when I was a kid, I actually missed like the Yankee periods. My childhood was like between 84 and 94.
Well, that's when Don Mattingly was literally the only decent player they had.
Yeah, so
Right.
all of these people have this major hatred of the Yankees and everything, the evil empire and everything's going on. But during my developmental years, they just weren't anything special at all. You know, I was more about the Minnesota Twins and the Toronto Blue Jays, and I think the LA Dodgers or Kirk Gibson. That was my time frame.
Oral Hershiser, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
I was definitely a '90s Braves kid because I was in first grade when they made their first World Series run. I remember going to a game against the Twins.
Wow.
We sat next to the bullpen, and as a first grader, I called it the bull box. My dad
bull
just
box.
cracked up laughing. It was Game 5. Smoltzy pitched an absolute gem.
seen that if it was just me.
You have pixelated out.
Nice. Okay.
You look like Black Bolt from Doctor Strange 2. Stat.
Yeah.
So Freddie Freeman fired his agent, and Jeb fired Jeeves. So he can't ask anybody anything.
Yeah.
I don't think you can say that, Corey.
That's what he searched.
Yeah.
What is Google?
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
There,
we
look
got
what Jeb
bots?
brought in.
But you know what they're
tried
for? No, it's in the chat window. Let's see. Settings. I need them to post one more. Huh? Naked HD.
Jeb.
Well, how do you click on? I can't click on them
Computer, it's beaming to the lobby.
Yeah.
on the VPN. It's just going all the way through to the entire company. Yeah, no.
Yeah. Gosh.
Hey, Jeb got his normal face back. MLB.
There
After
he goes.
Dark.
Yeah.
So we asked a couple of questions. Is this Bama's year? I think that was the main defining question. That are completely flipping out, and there's a faction of Georgia fans that aren't all that worried at all.
And there's some Virginia fans that thinks that Virginia lost him to Texas.
If you can see my background, I can obviously have an opinion on that last name. But Ole Miss has been out of this for like 5 months.
Yeah.
And it wasn't $9.5 million.
Ooh, from Miami?
Yes.
Ooh,
Wow.
high school kid.
$9.5 million
That's
for a
freaking
high school kid.
That's freaking bold, man.
That's a nice place to have.
Doing Elite 11 stuff.
Right.
He's not doing all the competition. It's
really
a major
doing
red
anything.
flag for me.
Yes.
Because when he was on TV last
Yeah.
And it's hard because he's playing New Orleans private ball, which is not great.
yeah,
Is it?
yeah, he looked that bad playing 2A Louisiana football. And I have questions. Yours is at Texas too. If he's the real
Right.
deal, Arch Manning is going to transfer. Now he's going to transfer to Georgia, and he's going to transfer to Virginia.
You're talking to the Portal King.
I have it on relatively good authority. This may be completely false, but I have it on pretty good authority that the Mannings.
Hey, he
Well,
hadn't been around that
Cutcliffe.
long.
You know,
Yeah.
Cutcliffe is employed at Texas now, right?
No. He's at the SEC office. He didn't take the job at Texas.
Or he was
Oh, I
going
thought
to
he did.
maybe, and
Yeah,
well, he works
But-
for Bama, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing.
But the Arch Manning situation is interesting because there are players like Nico that got between the Florida collective and the Miami collective.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is getting ugly because Rashada had a lawyer and he was actively shopping him. And there's quotes of I don't know if it's because, but it's starting in this NIL deal to be shades of Herschel. There we go.
Got him.
Let's
There's
see
no
if it goes
horse.
away.
He's defying you.
I knew this NIL thing would quickly go to high school recruits, which is very, very dangerous because you're going to invest $9.5 million on old, early draftee that walks into the NFL because you're already, somewhat physically mature and mentally mature, but you're on for $9.5 million. What's that? What kind of pressure are you putting on that kid, and what kind of expectations are you setting yourself up for? To if he doesn't do any of that,
Jaden Rashada shows up at $9.5 million. Is Jaden Rashada going to win the starting job? Is that pressure going to? Yeah. Real quick before it runs through our trap. Hudson Waldrop entered the transfer portal this afternoon. They asked if Coach Bianco he's going to have that relationship and that meeting and that be able to do that. But I am hearing LSU at the moment.
I think he'll end up Ole Miss. Yeah.
The opening pitcher that Ole Miss won that game 10-0, but he had like a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. He was a true fireballer. Really impressive. They had the second best ERA behind Tennessee in the country. Yeah, Southern Miss was legit when it came to that.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for the
question and stuff like that. Well, one, you look at other quarterbacks around the league and you try to figure out Jalen Rashada than any of the top returning quarterbacks that are going to be eligible to play when Rashada comes back in, like Tyler Van Dyke. I'm affected a place like Miami because they had built the roster up.
Right.
No,
So I don't say them try to stop them from transferring instead of, I don't like it. I think it's a red flag, and Jeb be putting into a true freshman.
does bring up some situations. Like, I mean, with the NFL, when they draft a quarterback in the first round, the same thing, because they are bringing in or have brought in Jackson, who's like a 4-star from this last class. And when Nico gets here, I mean, I think it puts a lot of pressure. And it's not really fair to take on Jackson because he might end up being a really good quarterback. I'd rather, the best quarterback play that's going to give us the best chance to win. And maybe Nico needs a year to.
I mean, there's something to that. There's a lot of pressure there.
Yeah, and then he's going to need time to develop and learn the system like anybody would. But
right.
But
we could talk a little bit of recruiting, and Corey might be able to have an opinion on this. But Nico went to the Nashville Elite 11 competition. Nashville quarterback that is committed to Ole Miss, and that just tells you that the potential wasn't feeling himself. And beside what Nico made the finals, by the way, not Marcel. But it's going to be what's going to happen in Miami if Jalen Rashada busts and he's not on the field as a true freshman or sophomore. What's going to happen at Tennessee in that offense?
Yeah. I mean, it's possible in a lot of offenses, but
but especially
I think that's why I think the one that fits your offense the best. I think is where Jones messed up a lot. He would just go in for the highest ranked players he could get to make his class look good, and they never fit in.
And the Butch Jones 2.0 down at Florida is in some hot water too. We'll get to that in just a little bit. But to go and beats him out, and Arch Manning transfer like Gunnar Stockton is a 5-star version because he was ranked as a Rivals.com 5-star. He's a 5-star. And he fits what Georgia wants to do. Like, it's obvious the direction that Todd Monken wants to go with this offense. And it's obvious that JT Daniels, but Stetson was a perfect fit. Stetson was the better quarterback. That's why I'm not worried about it.
But if JT Daniels was at Tennessee last year, he'd have won the Heisman. That's the quarterback that is needed in Tennessee.
But you're saying if Hooker wasn't there?
Well, I'm saying if he was in Tennessee, he was going to beat out Hendon because throwing the football, JT to get away, the little bit of wiggle that he has.
It's very RPO based and very movement based. Yeah.
And he was the other quarterback from Tennessee.
That's Martell.
No, it's not Martell. Who's the guy that was Jeremy Pruitt's phenom?
Now that'll be interesting.
Which is probably a good fit. Yeah, I think
Neil Brown.
It's a very good fit.
I don't know if you,
Tony Franklin.
yeah. I don't, I don't, you know, I don't like
the Tony
offensive
Franklin
box.
system.
I'm doing Tony Franklin this year. I'm doing the Tony Franklin system this year. I mean, people would try to replicate this thing. It was like, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I take a concept here and a concept there, and I kind of just blend things and figure out like, okay, this would work to learn it themselves. I feel like if you build an offense, you're the expert.
Yeah.
Right? Everything's out there now. It's just a matter of like who can put together the best package and who can call it at the right time.
Yeah.
You know? Because
listen to this. Tony Franklin is a fine offensive coordinator, and he does some really cool stuff. He also is the reason Tommy Tuberville got can't remember his name.
Oh crap.
Al
I know
Borges.
Al Borges.
Mine's not.
It might be a YouTube thing. Refresh it, Cassidy. Those players are recruited. Everything is designed to fit the Al Borges system or the Ole Miss Zoney system. A receiver that was at Auburn that everybody thought he was going to be a star quarterback. And probably maybe fit the Tony Franklin stuff. It was pre-RPO. It was very early spread stuff. But people need to understand. It's like, okay, we have a bad defense. We've run the 4-2-5 for 5 years. We have a bad defense. We need to, because we don't have the players to run, which you think we need to run, because you think there's one football player. Player fits every system because he's a 4-star. That's not the case.
Yeah.
That's not the case at all.
Than a 4-3 edge guy.
Mm-hmm.
But they're ranked the same in the same category.
Yeah.
With these recruiting services.
Could be right next to each other.
And Aiden Hutchinson is a 4-3 defensive end.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a great one.
Oh, yeah.
Trevon, 4-3 defensive end, too. I mean, I think he's really good. I mean, he's kind of a hybrid. But, Kayvon Thibodeau, like, where does he fit? Like, TJ Watt, perfect outside, 3-4 outside linebacker. Plays really well in space. Versus, like, if you need to be more contained, you're better as a 5 technique rushing off the edge or a 6.
Difference between a 3-4 A gap, B gap responsible linebacker than a 4-3
versus a two shell safety. Like, you're going to design your coverages around, okay, do we have that Ed Reed type, or the Patrick Willis type, or Patrick Willis could fit in any system, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But if you don't have him as a single high center field safety that can play sideline to sideline, and the Ravens has a lot of stuff, you can run him down in the alley. He's when you have a guy like that, it changes. So but just, if you have a certain type of DB group that plays better, Georgia couldn't play zone coverage to save their freaking lives. But they were great in man-to-man. So anytime they got in zone, they got burnt. It's knowing all that stuff.
I tell people all the time, whenever you look at recruiting rankings, the single player that everybody goes, the top 20 points, once you get into 3-star, it's completely system-based. You might have an NFL-type guy, but it's going to be very specific of what they can.
That's gonna sign every 5-star. Like, you're gonna have a few 3-stars on just freaking dominate because they fit a specific aspect of your offense or defense. Of those, let's see. Let me look up. I'm gonna look up random players as you go.
And he tore up college and the NFL for years. I mean, it's insane. Right.
That's what it was and what he developed in there. And he did it so well. And dominant doing that. And understanding and evaluating and knowing what you are is the most important. But evaluation and confidence are the two most important things in all sports.
Their system in it. Yeah. And those people, half the time they leave the New England, just never do nearly as well.
To get, people you never even heard of before.
Yeah.
And just making them like elite is crazy. Oh my gosh, it's crazy.
But yeah, I mean, it just goes back to how imperfect of a system that recruiting than the 5-star. Like, all that happens. Everything. It's not about talent. Like the 3-star, like Hunter Renfrow just got a 2-year, $70 million contract.
Who would be the better player in the NFL? Ben Jarvis,
Green, all the way.
But Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis ended up getting picked up by the Patriots.
Combined, right?
Yeah.
And dude was like fantasy football relevant for a while too.
Somehow cost 2 first-round picks. That did nothing.
Yeah, played like 4 years on 3 teams or something like that.
Yeah.
Got some of the best 3-star players from best composite 3-star players from every recruiting class. Patrick Willis, 2003, 2000. I mean, you think about that. So, yeah.
JJ Watt was a 2-star. Like the kid was a late bloomer.
2010, best 3-star player in that class.
I mean, he's probably one of the best defensive tackles in the history of the NFL, too.
Oh yeah, he was.
Sapp was also not a 3-star, but now he's about to be a walk-on in the NFL too.
I just for some reason I feel that
because they traded Russell and they don't have anybody though.
Now that Scary Terry got the bag today, I think DK's next up on the
Locked On Sooners is in an argument with an Ole Miss fan that Joe Namath and Eli.
I mean, Joe Namath, I don't think was as great as he gets credit for being.
No,
great.
Joe Namath is quite because of how shotgun. So you got to see Joe Namath in the shotgun.
No, but I mean,
he was good, but
he's
he
one of those
like
you got to watch him. You got to watch
Super Bowl history.
Yeah, that is true.
And you can complain about him all you want, but
those terrible Giants teams to the playoffs and to
the greatest team of all time.
There was.
And New York's defense figured out a way to hit Tom Brady over.
Michael Strahan.
Michael Strahan didn't believe in Tom Coughlin until he saw him eating in and out. I mean, Eli Manning is elite, man. Like
he's in the top 10 in every major statistical category, and he has 2 rings.
Petulantly forced his way out of San Diego, but
and you see the way Arch Manning handled his recruitment, going to Texas and everything. It was a total business decision. About an 8 for Nico. He might be getting 12.
Yeah, I really as much as he could get. He wanted to go to his best place because the Mannings are. I mean, they're rich, and he knows he's going to the NFL. Well, he seems he's going to the NFL.
The least rich Manning was Cooper.
And it's his kid, driving in force.
To think that Cooper's not involved in.
Well, Eli might. Eli's the highest earner ever in NFL history.
Oh,
yeah.
All right,
very average. Very average.
Better be.
Yeah, I need Jeb's one. He better be.
He's got 2 rings, and he gave the Saints once.
Mm-hmm.
He's already in.
Brett Favre's like loaning out his copper.
All right, let's get back to college football.
Well, real quick before we get started, that commercial is always great because even in that commercial, whenever it's supposed to make him look good, you're like, oh, no, they don't.
You remember watching those like 49ers documentaries where Jerry Rice would like run a mountain?
Is it at USC?
Believe so.
Brendan Rice?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Let's see. Let me search that real quick.
Search that, yeah. USC?
Yep.
USC.
As a freshman.
Not bad at all.
Wow.
Not bad.
Yeah, not bad at all.
Mel Tucker gave him the middle finger.
Yeah, he's like, I'm
He better himself, though.
This whole thing, everybody, is going to grow and grow and grow. For 7 subscribers tonight.
Booyah.
Yeah.
Why don't you subscribe to Bleav In Georgia Dawgs? Yeah.
Check
Subscribe to them all because we do it.
On the website? Was it self-portraits of you? Self-portrait?
Oh, here they come.
Bro, cheap as Tinder just for sex.
It's the Russian bots. They were like nicer.
Yeah, the Russian bots were the best. Yeah, and that
was not a good trade at all.
By the way, the last
pretty good, man. It's your daily walkabout that's getting them.
You like that?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Lock. Unless you listen to the old school Rivals radio. Ripped.
And I'm on that walk trying to get.
But so looking at like this season's college football, looking at SEC in particular, the story, or is it more about the who's going to be the dark horse? Because this, like, everyone except Auburn has a legit shot.
Literally,
I think as long as Nick Saban's at
Alabama with Bryce Young, and I don't know who the hell he's going to throw it to, but
Jermaine.
J-Mo is a number 1.
Right.
He's not a J-Mo.
He's a John Mechie.
He's a Mechie. He's a number 2.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with your number 1 option vertically.
I am worried for Alabama and
Head on a swivel. He could have a great career at Texas.
Who's the transfer kid that came from Louisville? Is he going to be able to do anything? Is that going to be the guy? Ja'Cory Brooks, is he?
Well, Ja'Cory Brooks is injured right now. He didn't get to play in the spring game. So that
If it's not Jermaine, who's the guy?
it's Jahmyr Gibbs.
yeah,
The offense is going to look differently this year.
Better than
That's probably why we're building it is because of him.
By the
But
way,
I agree.
great RPO. Oh, you got your Phil Steele.
There you go.
that's
A lot of people saying he's not even going to be the first guy on the field. I don't see how you don't put him.
Tank Bigsby and Devin Achane. Third string, Jabari Small and Kendall
Wow.
Evans is not going to be a fourth string back in the SEC.
No.
They're
Better than Zach Evans, I can tell you that. Jahmyr Gibbs is pretty.
just good because he was at Georgia Tech.
No, I mean Georgia Tech literally had nothing.
By the way,
No.
congratulations. I can only assume that Georgia is making Georgia Tech's schedule.
Oh, that's brutal, man.
Yeah.
That is freaking brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Phil still has, this is the way he has his pie of Arkansas and Ole Miss and Auburn.
What a
How many
LSU's
wins did he
better than that.
had Auburn?
What's that?
How many wins did he have? Did it say how many wins? I just don't say how they're going to win 8 games this year.
So like what's
Call.
Okay.
uh,
Two people.
Yeah. Since
You got Calzada and you
Well,
got
Robbie
TJ
Ashford?
Finley. Robbie and TJ Finley. That dinosaur.
yeah. All right. Let's do Phil Steele unit rank. Alabama is number
Look
1 or number
distinguished.
3 in literally every position. There's Georgia is, let's see, 5 at quarterback, 4 at running back, 1 at receiver. Number 1 at receiver. Offensive line 1, DBs 1, special teams 4, linebackers 2.
Yeah.
No, I mean
not pretty much, definitely.
It should be like ranked 1 through 14. Florida, Mississippi State, Auburn, and Texas A&M are all tied for 3. Good grief.
But
Vanderbilt.
like, okay,
Vanderbilt, all threes.
Not at 14.
running back,
No.
Head coach.
special.
So technically, I guess that's
no coaching
technically
was
14. And they're tied for 13th in linebacker. I believe I just had to put my spectacles on
There you go.
They're spectacles.
to read.
6', 328-pound Jason Jones transferred from Oregon. Jones and Robbie Ashford in return.
Yeah, I think that players from Alabama, he's not the greatest coach in the world, but he had ties in this area. All right, I think he's at Akron. I think he'll do all right there.
And
And
great.
I think eventually Dan Mullen's going to show up back in the MAC.
Ooh.
Return of the.
I think he was at New Hampshire or something.
I don't know where he was, but Owen Popo comes back.
Problem and a bad offensive line, a quarterback mobility problem and a horrible offensive line.
Yeah.
That's
go.
going to eat them up.
The defensive line and pass rush. Not a good recipe. And you got Brian Harsin, who's just looking for a reason to. So, I mean, would it surprise me? No, it's a very Auburn thing to do, to be like, to win the conference and finish dead last. So
Right.
they truly are a wild card to Mississippi State than to do Auburn at this point, because I know what Mississippi State's going to be. The room he's had for 2 years.
Yeah,
They lose to
they're
Washington.
yeah.
They somehow.
They're gonna make noise.
I mean, I'm putting some stock in Ole Miss now. I mean,
Yeah.
You know?
When last year Ole Miss had 17 players, Ole Miss is at 34 players right now. Completely transforming the talent level.
find another tight end like the one they had in Yaboa.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's like 3 times what Kenny Yeboah is.
Yeah.
I think him and Brock Bowers.
Not tearing it up as much. Or maybe I just heard that the other kid is doing really well. What's his name? Now
Alt-
Luke
Altmaier.
Altmaier.
Where
Only
did
went to
the?
UCF?
But yeah, I think it's gonna be interesting. Go into 14 personnel and make no bones about it.
From South Park.
Nerds.
Just all tight ends.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all tight ends.
Yeah,
Like,
14 personnel.
empty.
That's true.
It's not
at the 20-yard line, rolling up at goal line.
goal line
on
empty
here?
with 5 tight ends.
That-
Brock, yeah, do a jet sweep with Brock.
Yeah, he ran like 22 miles an hour last year when his top speed was.
It's fast, man.
Vandy.
But it's a white freshman tight end.
Spring practice as a high school kid playing with junior high kids.
Is that bad?
Oh,
Is
wow.
that good?
So, yeah,
I've
he's
never
setting
heard of-
something up. Yeah,
He
turns
hadn't
out.
watched.
Sure, he committed, and then Dart
Yeah.
just tagged along.
Yeah, dark
Yeah.
tagged him on. Oh,
But like, okay, so LSU.
because you
What-
can't even understand because he played at Arizona State, well, and doing the Herm Edwards stuff that was like, yeah, you just don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, you can't judge anything.
Sold out Swayze basically. It looked like a
They
baseball
stole.
game weekend.
Thought you were gonna say they stole something.
Yeah,
So I'm like,
Oh,
what the hell did they do? What kind of
Not before this baseball season, that because of it, Tennessee was a generational team.
it was still an all
If you count, you
Our
count
top
Oklahoma
four,
and
no.
Texas, 6 of the 8 teams were SEC tied team. By
that's
the way,
wild.
Arkansas is feeling some things about right now. Fly ball away from winning the national championship in 2018, the year before Vandy won it.
Right,
And
it's crazy.
welcome to the SEC, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, Mississippi State, they're gonna be fun.
9 years.
And it's
One time in the last like 11 years.
that's not a good record.
Yeah. 2 straight against Ole Miss,
Right.
and it's soon to
Yeah.
be 3 straight. Weird game where Matt Corral got hurt and we had no healthy wide receivers. We're out there playing with a,
Gonna win many games that way either.
and we still should have won the game if we wouldn't have gone for it 15 times in that game.
Points is better than going for it on 4th down
Yeah,
in some situations.
You know what teams they come in with an overall record of 9-27. They open the season at Nevada. They have a road game at Baylor.
Ooh,
Dave Aranda.
let's go do. Yeah, Dave Aranda, that dude's.
Ton of elite talent.
Not yeah,
But, like,
it's not
got
there
two-
yet. But
Got 2 safeties drafted.
but
to
if
make
Matt
the
Corral
team.
doesn't get hurt, we win that game.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I mean, but they is
Yeah.
now Florida. They're like he's like kicking off half the team. Right guy.
Right.
Hey, did we hire the right guy? I don't think so. Go Gators.
7. Wasn't it?
So,
Or 6.
what season you think? Or
Yes.
9?
They got to run the ball better. I mean, they had a better record last year if they started with Hooker instead of
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would
they would
have
have beat
beat
Pitt. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. And defense, I think, is still going to be an issue this year. Getting off the field.
Pretty good.
No,
but
no,
when-
I just
when you-
mean he's pretty good. Is not better than Zach Evans. That my point was not. He's not better than Zach type of running back. There's not many of those that come
No.
through.
I don't know many at all.
in the league, maybe the country. Where's he
Cedric
gonna go
Tillman
after
is
next
the
year,
number
though?
1, but well,
Where's he
that's a
gonna-
good question.
Where's he going to transfer after next year?
Oh, on the West Coast now, he's making his way to the East Coast.
He
Yeah,
should be
maybe
at
he'll go down.
Rutgers next year.
It's funny that teams that were good in the 80s and 90s, and they went through the down period. State's not playing this game.
Oh, did you? Okay. How about okay? So let's look at Vinny's boys, Kentucky. He's too hit or miss with me for me.
Right.
I think Will
And he
Levis
loses. Cohen had that Rams offense going, man. He was had it going. Yeah. They quick screen to the house. They had
Mhm.
Chris Rodriguez, Cavasri, and Kennard was one of them that could just get out in open space and just get in the way. The only person they couldn't block was Michigan touched him. I think the entire Orange Bowl.
Right.
But they lose. They lose Dart. They get Kenneth Horsey. They get Tayshawn Manning from.
The
it's
one
just-
that lead too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he got,
he
got drafted by New York.
I thought Smoke was a senior last year.
I feel like he is, but I think he's like the Matt Jones level plays too, which scares me because, like, who's going to call plays for Will Levis? Who's going to know his skill set better? But you lose Wandale Robinson, you lose Josh Ali. Can DeMarcus Harris and Tavion Robinson
essentially cut by Kentucky.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
but like
Good spot for him.
Yeah. I mean, they lose Josh Paschal to where they can lose that much talent. Like, it's great that they had all these people drafted. Now they're kind of finally at that level to where they're getting multiple guys. Pearl Cone's finest. But see that one coming. Did not see that one coming. Kentucky is good. Or we're going to be there going more clarity on this when we kickstart Beast of the East back up after July. What?
I mean, it's essentially
They opened the season with Miami of Ohio.
Ooh.
Florida this year, which usually is a tough game, but getting that group 10th. So we're looking at 3-1. Then they're at Ole Miss.
That's a loss.
But they're at home, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Oof.
Yeah, they'll win that.
Mm-hmm.
They play, then they're at Tennessee.
That's a loss.
Yeah, they're at 7 in the conference, dude. They came out.
Yeah,
like pitchforks and torches.
Yeah. They're 7.
They got Georgia at the grocery bag.
That's
Reuben Owens committed to Louisville, by the way. They're another school that is going off. I don't think we know what they're going to be in 5 years.
I don't think we know what they're going to be tomorrow. But I think that's a loss. I think Kentucky's better than Louisville. Kentucky. I think the South Carolina Mississippi State games are going to be the swing games, where that'd be a hell of a way to start this. If they beat Florida to start the season, they're going to win 9. Okay, that's good because like you've beaten Florida twice in the last 34 years.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm out. Like that's the expectation.
There's a headline
What? Besides arguing with Muppets.
again the
Yeah.
Guess that explains a lot, right?
Oh my
Good
God.
Lord.
What
But
did he do?
People are calling him out for who he.
He went to a New Year's Six game at Western Michigan. I just think we can call it he's at Minnesota.
jailed against an opponent, no matter who it is. You know, so
Unless it's Nebraska. I think they're building. I mean, their quarterback at Minnesota, now all this fake hype, it's not like he's recruiting at a super high level.
Yeah.
But he's another one that runs the 2007.
Dude, like it's going to catch up with him at some point.
Yeah. The row the boat thing is.
I've linked an article that was
My video,
PJ Fleck.
my video from this morning got 1,100 views.
Better of a day than R. Kelly's having.
It's got to have his ID in there
Yeah.
while his mom is taping
his
it.
mom is
verifying
like,
it. Yeah, I guess it should have been expected once he got found guilty, but
Yeah.
it's still surprising for some reason that only got 20 years. Gazelle, I don't know what her name is.
It's Dan Snyder stuff. That's not the question at hand here. Are they going to finally take?
Getting sued out of their mind if they did it.
No, I don't see how.
So, well, anyway, Corey, get us.
Places at Bleav In Georgia Dawgs, Tide Talk Live, really spinoffs, but they're 2 additional shows: Beast of the East and Best of the West. Really, it's just SEC. It's just Israel, who's my co-host on Bleav In Dawgs, and pretty much SEC After Dark from a different perspective. We kind of cover a lot of the same stuff and similar stuff, but but like we'll cover all the Western stuff. Like if there's a West heavy week and y'all's conference network on there, I'm the resident SEC guy, which After Dark. We hope to see you back here next week as we continue to improve this thing. Well, the Virgins, he's like 18.